Hi, my name is Pete Chinratanalan. I am a graduate of the Next Steps program of 2021, and welcome to the first episode of the Not So Speechless podcast, where we'll be talking about disability and advocacy, and I'll be inviting my friends along with telling my personal story throughout this podcast. So me and Elijah met through Special Olympics, and we did our first advocacy webinar together this year for under the Tennessee Disability Coalition.
And I remember you from my freshman year. I would go on to like the Special Olympics, the virtual practices. I remember you, and I remember you talking about Harry Potter, but it wasn't until this year you talked about Harry Potter. And I said, I loved Harry Potter too. And you were like, oh my gosh, like, what is your number? We traded numbers. And then we started talking, and then we started talking about Harry Potter. And then we started talking about disability and advocacy and Jeff. And then we started saying, hey, we'll talk a lot. We should start recording what we were saying. And boom, here we are. A lot of people were wondering, why Not So Speechless? Do you want to talk about how we came up with the title of the podcast? Why did we decide on that?
Well, one, because Peach is in the word speechless, which is a funny pun. And then two, I just wanted to come up with a creative name. And why I decided to do this podcast was because I wanted to tell my story.
Exactly. So Not So Speechless, for me at least, it just means that we all have a voice, and even if we don't have a voice, we still have things to say. So the part of the trailer where it was saying that, communication doesn't always look the same for everyone. And that's okay, basically. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering, like what sort of episodes to expect from us. And honestly, it's going to change around a little bit. So Peach, do you want to describe the types of episodes we'll have?
So we're going to have some advocacy stories. We're going to have one episode related to DDH, which is Disability Day on the Hill. So we're going to have one episode directed to that. We're going to have some fun episodes, which include like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and all that. And, me talking about bubble tea and me talking about like my culture and where I come from and how that affects inclusion and diversity and so on. Yeah, there are many more episodes to come.
Just about disability, we have transportation issues. And I know, Pete, you've had issues with transportation, so you'll be telling us all about that. So we haven't described or defined what self-advocacy is. Do you want to go ahead and do that before you tell us about yourself and your story?
A short definition of self-advocacy is advocating for yourself and not someone else. Because self means you, advocacy means speaking up. So self-advocacy means speaking up for yourself, but not other people. I think it's important for people to speak up for themselves and not use someone else to speak up for themselves. Now, people that are nonverbal might need help understanding what to say, but that doesn't mean that you have a voice.
Yeah, agreed. And today we have different things to assist individuals who may be nonverbal. Aside from the traditional ASL, we have AAC devices and different adaptive methods to pretty much make communication possible between, most people. Can you talk about that? Have you ever used any AAC devices, or have you always, spoken
I use
pretty
Siri
much?
on my phone. I use Amazon Alexa. I use automatic door handles, which I'm getting soon, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Do you have any friends who are nonverbal that use AAC devices? How do they communicate with you?
For example, Dre communicates through sign language. Darko communicates through Braille. Mackenzie is nonverbal, but she communicates through a tablet.
Cool. And Mackenzie, she's your friend that has Rett syndrome, right?
Yes.
Or
syndrome and apraxia.
Oh, okay.
Um, Shout out to you, bestie. You've inspired me to do things, and I know I inspire you to do things.
All right, Peach. What do you like to do? What's your day-to-day like? Let's start in the past. Who are you? Where you come from? Who are you a self-advocate? What has life been like?
I'm a U.S. citizen, but my family is from Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm Asian Chinese American. You would consider that as Thai Chinese American. But I also like to eat a lot of different foods. Asian food is my number one thing. Plus, I love to communicate with different people and learn about all different cultures. My main hobby is, of course, working at bubble tea shops, and I love Harry Potter, especially the books and movies. But in terms of cerebral palsy and epilepsy, I was diagnosed with my first seizure at age 5, but I was born with cerebral palsy. CP, for those of you that don't know, is a rare form disorder that has one symptom of muscle spasticity, or your muscles don't work as they normally would, and you can't walk on both legs. There are two types, diaplegic and quadriplegic. I was born quadriplegic, and now I can barely walk and stand up on my own.
Got you. So when you were a baby, did you crawl? Did you do what many would call cruising? Like, did you walk around and hold on tables? Can you remember, or do you just remember the stories that mom and dad tell you?
I used a walker and I used a stander, but I barely could stand up when I was a little kid. But luckily, with the seizures, I do have medication for it, so I've been seizure free.
Got you. And even when you went to pre-K, you just
I was in the classroom just like everybody else. Until 5th grade, I had to be in a separate classroom.
really.
I was in Nashville until about elementary school, at high school here, and then got into the Next Steps program at Vanderbilt, and my life changed ever since. It's a 4-year post-secondary program for adults with disabilities to learn career skills, advocacy skills, independent living skills, and just time management in general. And it's the opportunity for adults with disabilities to hang out with Vanderbilt students.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so grateful for Next Steps. Obviously, that's how I met you. What do you do to de-stress?
Watch TV shows, watch movies, bake because it's relaxing. Just go out and spend time with family.
Nice. When did you become a self-advocate? When did you know that it was time to, start telling people about what you were thinking?
My friend Diamond, she wanted me to get into self-advocacy. Also, Next Steps started it all for me. And then it was Diamond that introduced me to all these programs, like People First, Partners in Policy, the Coalition, Tennessee Council, and then the Art Tennessee transferred me over to Jeff of the Disability Coalition, who then introduced me to Dylan, who handles the Transportation Committee, so on and so forth. It's like your circle of support can connect you to different people. And then I learned when I learned the first day of Disability Day on the Hill, that was also from Jeff. I didn't know about it till he, did a presentation on it.
Nice. That is so cool. Something I was wondering, what is it like to have CP and epilepsy today? Are you ever worried?
I get scared that I'm gonna have a seizure, but my mom tells me if you take medicine for it and take care of yourself, you'll be fine. Now, in terms of CP, it won't go away anytime soon.
I just realized we didn't talk about is CP curable? Do people take medication for it? Do you have to go to certain therapies for it? Can you talk about that?
I have to go to the doctor. I have to get Botox, which is a 3-month shot for my legs to work and to, work on like personal like stuff and I have to go to the doctor once a month, get my Botox shot every 3 months. First appointment with the neuro clinic is in September, so we'll find out how things are, and I'll talk about that. Yeah.
Nice. And how intensive is therapy? How long have you been doing physical therapy? Is it fun? Is it enjoyable? How do you, get yourself to go every time?
Hard work plus stress plus tiredness equals your body just shuts down at the end of the day.
Like, has it always been twice a week? Was it more intense when you were younger?
When I was younger, we had to do more.
Okay. You went more places, more doctor's visits, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I got really sick. But now we don't have to. I just go when they need me to go, or they just call me when, you're due for this appointment.
Got you. And your doctor's always well educated on CP.
Mm-hmm.
What's your day-to-day like? I know you said you work out, but you have a social life outside of, just working. So what's your day-to-day?
We have meetings. If I don't have meetings, like on Mondays, I typically work out and then hang out with my mom and then have voice lessons.
Voice lessons. You like to sing?
Yes.
Okay.
During high school, I found my singing voice.
Okay. Do you think CP holds you back from doing anything today?
No. None.
Nice. I love that answer. Why do you say no?
Like, this question has been posed to me and my mom always says, your disability cannot stop you from doing anything. Even though it might be hard for you to do some stuff, you still can go out, you still can travel with us, you still can do the things that you want to do in life. So she's been so supportive along with my dad and stuff. So I have the most supportive family and the most supportive parents.
Oh, that's great to hear. Having a supportive family is really important. So, wow, that is awesome. Have you always had this mindset, this positive mindset that you can do pretty much anything?
In what way?
Hey, like when I think of myself now, right? I'm at Vanderbilt, I have awesome opportunities, and I think that pretty much nothing's outside of my grasp. Like I can do pretty much anything. But when I was younger, I didn't really feel like that. I didn't think getting here would be possible, or really leaving Georgia, where I'm from, would be possible. So have you always felt like you can do anything, you can go anywhere, or have you always had this mindset, or?
No.
Okay.
I've been taught to not think negative.
Okay. For you, what was school like?
Math was hard. It was fun otherwise.
Got you. Do you have any problems today? Is everything pretty accessible today? I know you said you have issues with transportation.
Other than transportation and, just me learning how to live on my own.
So right now on your mind,
Independence is one.
Alrighty. So do you want to close us out? And
Other than that, mischief managed. I'll see you next time.
okay.